girl, Cyberdeath here. I'm a musician, but I also make like fashion, DIY, lifestyle content. But today, I opened my astrology app, which is like the one that everybody used to use in like 2020. It's called CoStar. But I still use it frequently because I secretly love astrology. Like, I love a good daily horoscope. I don't believe like so crazy in it, but I do like definitely kind of believe in it. But the app pretty much gives you do's and don'ts every single day. And today, under my do's section, it says secondhand stores. So to me, that sounds like an excuse to go thrifting, which you know that I always am down to do. So without further ado, let's go. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I get so nervous filming in public, so I'm gonna try to get as much footage as I can at the thrift store, but if I chicken out, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back from the thrift store and a couple other vintage stores, but let's just do a rundown of everything that happened. So I started off at this big Value Village. That's pretty a popular hotspot, and I found a lot of strange clothing there. I immediately walked in and I found this one top that I thought was pretty cute, but I didn't end up getting because I thought it would be a little bit too big on me. Not having much luck, but I did find this one top. And then I always go to the jewelry section because I love hunting for charms for like DIY purposes. And I saw this one thing, it was so cute. It had like a little like heart dangly thing and a heel and like a black rose charm, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get that later. Like, I'm not sure if I like really want it. But then at the end of the trip, I went back to go grab it and somebody had already taken it, so that was like already a very sad loss. I have to say, this time I went to the thrift store, I kept finding really weird items of clothing, like these weird Minion shoes. I like think it's so funny that like they looked used too, so it's like I would have been so happy if I had seen someone wearing those in public, and knowing that somebody did and then eventually donated them is so awesome. And then secondly, I found these really weird like Joker shorts. I don't know why this style of clothing always makes me laugh. Like, it's just so like dramatic, like, if you know what I mean. And then there was this girl's shirt with like a dabbing unicorn on it. I mean, children's clothes can be cheesy, I think that's totally fine, but I always think like the dabbing clothes is so funny. It's such an example of like a fad or like a expired cultural phenomenon of like the dab, because I don't know, it's just funny. I always see shirts like that. It's like Minions dabbing, like Fortnite characters dabbing, and it's just like a forgotten dance move of like 2017. So yeah, I went around, you know, I honestly was not having great luck at this location, which is unusual. I usually almost never leave that place empty-handed, and yet I did. So that's kind of a -1 point for my astrology luck, I don't know, for my astrology horoscope advice. Horrible finds, so disappointed. So we're going to another store. I figured maybe I should just go out to some other stores, so I decided to hit up this other thrift store, and it's a smaller location. I've only been to it a couple of times before, and I've never really had super great luck there, and this time was no exception. Everything there was totally not my style, so I left. And I went to this one area of my city where there's like a cluster of like vintage stores. So not exactly thrift stores, but still secondhand, like the astrology horoscope said to do. So I walked up there and I noticed that two of the regular stores that I used to go to, I hadn't been there in a really long time actually, but I looked at two stores I used to go to all the time, and they had closed down like for good, like for lease, brown paper all over the windows. I was like, what is this crazy luck? Like, my two spots that I wanted to shop at are closed. It's like so sad, especially because this one place I really liked going to, they honestly had this really fun stuff, and honestly, it was like a vintage store, but it wasn't like insanely overpriced, so that was good. But now it's closed, so I can't shop there anymore. So that's very sad. Then the other one that closed down, it was like, I remember I never actually went there that often because it was absurdly expensive. That's one thing, thrift stores and vintage stores are not the same thing. Vintage stores are like more curated and like they have like usually more older or like better quality items or something, but they usually will rack up the price like insanely high. So I don't actually go to vintage stores that often. I'm a hardcore thrifter. I feel like I have better results, and I can't bear paying more than like, I don't know, $20, $30 for like a secondhand item, which is maybe unpopular, but I have done it before. Sorry, I went to this other vintage store that was still open in the area, thank goodness, and it was way too like there was like 2 people in there and the store is really small. So I was like, I'm not filming in here. I was too embarrassed. It was just far too intimate to do that. So I didn't, so I apologize. But I almost got this one, like they had this really cool gothic cross necklace but it was like $35 and I was like, and it didn't look secondhand. It looked like something that you maybe could have got off like Amazon or something. So I just wasn't sure. I felt hesitant to buy it. And then I went to this other vintage store. It was like literally only me in the store and I didn't want to make like the person working there uncomfortable, so I didn't film either. But they had these cool cowboy boots there, but I did not end up getting them. Very sad. But yeah, then I walked home empty-handed. So with all the money I saved by not buying clothes that I honestly probably don't need, I ended up getting a burrito. So, you know, not a total complete failure. So long story short, I think my daily horoscope was kind of lying to me. I think the horoscope was not super accurate. But you know what? Going out for that walk, like I was really groggy before, but now after walking all around and getting that burrito, I feel like a million times better. So maybe a small success, but definitely was not a successful trip at all. Actually, I would say it was a less successful trip. I usually only go to one thrift store and I usually find like a bunch of great stuff. This time I went to like 5 stores and there was nothing I wanted. So yeah, I think that disproves that, I guess that daily horoscope was not the real deal. I'm still probably gonna use the astrology app, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know, it's entertaining and fun. But yeah, make sure to subscribe and check out my music that I make. See you guys later, bye.